This evening, we have a brother by the name of Curtis Price that's on the phone. We're going to talk to him about how he became a prisoner of war, pretty much, and talk about his situation that he has going on now and the things that he has planned for the future. Hello, good brother. How are you?
Peace. I'm good. I'm good as can be under the conditions.
Right. So let's jump right into it. Tell the people a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Well, my given name is Curtis Levon Price, and I was born in Florida back in '76 on March 27th, and well, I became a POW when I was dealing with this Caucasian female who I considered a friend of mine because we used to get money together, we sometimes don't understand the difference between a friend and an associate. So I was one of those people who got the lines crossed. But obviously, I'm not the only one. It's been something that's been a reoccurring theme through our collective story. But back in 2003, I had helped her move to Greenville, South Carolina. She had stopped at my dad's house and asked me if I would help drive a U-Haul truck up to Greenville for her. All right, we good people, so we fooled around a little bit. So I figured, hey, I'll help her out.
Right.
I drove the truck up and found out that Greenville was wide open. It was open for business, and I'm a hustler. I was doing my thing, and I found that I could do a little distribution up there. So I got paid while I was helping a friend out. So a win-win situation. But my thing was, I went to the well too many times. I went back to Greenville, and that was where I crossed paths with the devil, so to speak. It was the night of June 29th. I had just got back from Atlanta that Saturday, and this was Sunday when I got back. And I was preparing to leave to go back to Florida for the 4th of July. And I told her that we can go out, chill for my last night, and she wanted to go to a pool party. So no problem, go out to a pool party. A couple friends of ours were throwing a pool party. Get to the party, had a good time, played some cards, smoked a couple J's, and saw a brother who had owed me $500 from a card game that we had about a week and a half before. So I'm like, perfect timing. And he was happy to see me. He wanted some get back on the card table. We were playing cards again. And he said that somebody was coming to get some weed from him, and he'd go ahead and settle the debt, but we could play cards in the meantime, between time. I was just enjoying myself. I wasn't stressing it. I had money, no big deal. And come about 11 o'clock, I said, I'm ready to go. Hey, you keep that till I see you next time, bro. And he said, well, how about this? You just take the weed and we call it even. I looked at the weed, it was some good bud, and I agreed. No problem. We're even. So I'm getting ready to roll out. I saw a friend of mine's sister there. She gave me his number and gave me a hug, and we left. Get to the car, and she's quiet. She got a little attitude on her. So I'm like, what's wrong with you? And she didn't respond. So I'm like, hey, no biggie. You got something on your mind? You got something on your mind? I get in the car, and she turned the music all up loud. No problem. Hey, I like loud music anyways. So she gets to the stoplight. I turned the radio down, turned the CD down. I'm like, yo, what's up? And she spazzed. I'm talking spazzed all the way out. Spazzed so hard she poked me in my eye. I couldn't believe I got out of the car. I got out of the car before I did something I regret. And she drives off. So, beforehand, I was like, she was going to stop by the gas station. So I was thinking she'd go to the gas station. So I get to the gas station, she's not there. I call on my phone. I'm like, yo, where you at? She's like, oh, I'm finna go get your stuff, this, that, and third, and you already know I'm leaving tomorrow. What do you? Stop playing. Come get me. You know I got this weed on me. Stop playing. Not only did I have weed on me, I had a big 4-5 on me. Now here I am, 11 o'clock at night in South Carolina, in Greenville, South Carolina, up in the hills. Black male, long dreads, tank top. Yeah, that's that's an attention grabber. Yeah, so I really wasn't sweating it because I'm just used to being me. I don't sweat too much anything. Mm-hmm. I go out and I'm waiting on my ride to get there. She calls me up and says she's on her way. Where am I? So I'm like, yo, I'll be by the ramp, by the entry ramp to 385. We were planning to go to the Walmart off of 385. So she comes through. I get in. We get on 385. I'm rolling up a blunt. I fired the blunt. Next thing I know, blue lights are behind us. So I'm like, yo, switch lanes, letting people go by. She switched lanes, they switched lanes. So I'm like, yo, you call the police? She's like, no, I ain't calling the police. So I'm like, damn, all right, just keep driving. Let me drop a handful of this weed out the window, and then we can pull over and see what the business is. So as I'm on my last handful of weed, the police pull up beside me, down off the side of the interstate on that little road right there, like he about to, run into us. So I'm like, yo, and he pulls a gun, like he about to shoot. So I duck down and push her foot on the gas and tell her to get off at the next exit. Mm-hmm. So she get off at the next exit, and it's like it's not a high speed chase, but it ain't no slow speed either. So we right. Just trying to find a spot to pull over.
Right.
So it's about 11:30, and there's nowhere open. It's late night. Well, not late night, but things are closed down. It's Sunday,
right?
And nothing's open. So I'm like, damn, get me to the hood. Get me around some of my peoples. I ain't trying to be Rodney King down here. Right. So we go through this parking lot, and when we get into this parking lot, the police just straight ran into the back, spun us out of control. So now my adrenaline shot to the sky, and I'm out. As soon as the car stopped, I'm on foot. I go up to, I'm getting away, going around this corner, and I see this Checkers. So I go up the steps to the Checkers, run around the corner, straight into two more police. So now I'm fighting two of them. I wake up in the back of an ambulance with no clothes on, and a neck brace. My whole head is. I can't move my head. So I'm like, yo, I can see that I'm naked though.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, where my clothes at? They're like, oh, you're on your way to the hospital. I'm like, okay, but where are my clothes? I'm tripped. I'm like, why the fuck am I naked? So, yeah, here come the pigs. Yeah, they doing the lockdown. But so I'm on my way to the hospital, and I black out. I wake up in this machine. I guess they're running a test on me and everything. And they said I had a fractured vertebrae in my neck or something. So they had me in this like, I don't know, like not a halo thing, but like this neck brace, and they had it where I really couldn't move. But yet, the doctor clears me for the police to take me to jail the next morning. So I stayed in the hospital probably like 6-7 hours. They run a test on me. They clear me. I go to jail. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, they have to put me in a medical wing because I'm fucked up. The police damn near me.
Right.
So I guess about a month go by. They switch me to another place because I can move now. They were telling me that I might not be able to walk. I might not be able to use my
wow.
motion no more. So I'm like, you crazy as hell. I can feel my legs. Okay, what y'all talking about?
Right.
I got myself back up, and I'm moving around. So now I finally get a chance to use the phone. I call home, and they just buried my dad.
Yes.
Yo. So they buried my dad. I just found out that my best friend, my OG, is gone. I'm totally blown. It fucked me up, and everything else was a blur till about March, around my birthday, and my uncle shows up, and he's like, nephew, come on, he stayed in Columbia, South Carolina. He's like,
right.
I'm gonna find you out, but you got to stay at my house, till trial, till we clear this up.
Right.
Now the lawyer done told my uncle that it was a case of mistaken identity. According to the report, that it was supposed to have been some heavyset guy who was like 5'10" and heavyset. Well, I'm about 6'3", and I'm basketball player built. Mm-hmm. I'm not heavyset. I'm slim. So I bond out, and this is 2004, in March 2004. and I'm down in Columbia. And I got a job at the Lake Murray. They were redoing the dam out there. So I'm working on the project out there, and I get a call from the lawyer. He's saying that, we need to have a meeting. So I go to Greenville, I sit down, and he's like, your girl is saying that you did it. So I'm like, now how did I go from a mistaken identity to all of a sudden somebody saying that I did it?
Right.
Why y'all ain't say this in the get?
Right.
He said, well, the state has her as their star witness.
Wow.
I'm to find out that the state coerced her, said that they want to take her daughter from her. This is what she tells me in 2007 when I finally got a chance to, communicate with her after trial. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, it doesn't matter what she says. You can't convict me of a crime that I didn't do.
Right.
So I went to trial. I go to trial to clear my name because in the warrant said that that it was two people. Let me read the warrant to you. The warrant says it was two people. That's where I was tripping. I'm like, okay, so where's this other person at? It says the affidavit has a statement from a co-defendant stating that he and the accused, Curtis LaVon Price, did enter Applebee's located at 430 Congaree Road with a small black handgun and pointed at the victim, demanding money. The estimated amount was taken was $1,100. After taking said money, the accused fled the scene. This incident occurred within the city limits of Greenville, South Carolina. Now, mind you, I had $1,500 in my pocket that night.
Right.
And they're talking like $1,100. So I'm like, obviously you got the wrong man.
Right.
And then you're looking for two people.
Right.
So where's this other guy at? Who is he? But they don't say anything about that. Now, my gun is a nickel-plated 45. So obviously, all of this is told. That was my whole thing was, okay, well, once they pull my gun out and show that, okay, it doesn't match the small black handgun that they're looking for, mm-hmm. that'll take care of that. Well, get to trial, get to court, go to trial. And it was on July 21st, on a Wednesday, trial started. And it goes on for 3 days, till Friday, July 23rd. And on July 23rd, I was convicted of armed robbery with a toy gun. They brought a toy gun into the courtroom with no fingerprints on it.
Wow.
Yeah, they said no matching fingerprints. Okay, so whose fingerprints does it have? That was the question I wanted to know.
Right.
So they never revealed that. They just said that the gun didn't have any matching prints on it. But yet the police said that he saw me throw it. Okay, so if he saw me throw a gun, unless I had gloves on, then there should be prints on that gun.
Right.
But nobody, the attorney I had, Ernest Hamilton, his sucker duck ass, this sellout Negro, he was theatrical. He was playing the game. When I look back on it, I'm telling you, I can see it. I see how he played me. I can see how he played the whole thing. And I'm like, that's when I really realized that the fix was in. I'm like, damn it, man. These people just about to railroad me.
Right.
So,
especially you not being from there, they usually have an issue when people from out of state come into their state. They be having like a little chip on their shoulder type, especially down south. They be having a chip on their shoulder.
They said I was a flight risk. Well, actually, I have family in South Carolina. We have had a couple family properties up here before, and my uncle still stayed up here. So it's not like I've never been to South Carolina. I stayed up here in the 80s. So I was back and forth through South Carolina almost my whole life. But at that day, we came out and they were reading the jury's verdict. Uh-huh. And it said guilty. So I'm blowed. I'm like, I was expecting not guilty. I was expecting to go home. Right. I told my lady, go ahead and get ready to get the truck and let's go. But they convicted me. And then they wanted me to sign some paper. I went off. I spazzed. I ain't gonna lie. I spazzed out. They drugged me out of the courtroom. And then they wanted me to come back and sign. I'm like, man, I'm not signing nothing. Wow. So they took me down to the county and wouldn't even take me back upstairs to get none of my stuff or nothing. So they just made me stay in a holding cell for the weekend and shipped me to prison first thing Monday morning. So now I'm at the county, and they're getting ready to shift me from Greenville, and they take me to Perry. I guess that's the processing center at first. Then they said, no, we're going to take them down to Kirkland. So they take me from, now I'm in prison, well, being at the reception center. They sent me down to another reception center in Columbia, South Carolina. I get down there, and, I got hair. I got about 2.5 feet worth of locks.
Right.
And they talking about cutting hair. I'm like, yo, do I look like I get a haircut?
Right.
What's wrong with y'all? So they're like, oh, yeah, you go get a haircut. And I'm like, there ain't enough of y'all to cut my hair in here. So they got their little team together and everything, and they escorted me to lockup. So, I'm waiting for them to do their thing, and they never came back and did anything. So about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, they're like, yo, you got mail. I'm like, I just got prison. How can I have mail? Like, we need you to sign for this mail.
Mm.
So, I told my attorney I did want to, do the appeal. So I'm like, okay. I get up to go sign, and the lady pulled back, and I don't know what this thing was. All of a sudden, they sprayed the room with some chemical spray, and it blinded me. It was horrible. I don't know what it would. Burnt my eyes, burnt everything. I couldn't breathe. I black out. I wake up in the shower with no hair.
Mm.
So this was my first day in SCDC. This was my first 24 hours. I guess this is their initiation into the system. And I've been fighting it ever since. This has just been one incident after another. I went to the law library when I first got to the camp that I first went to, was called McCormick.
Mm-hmm.
And I met a couple of good brothers in there, a couple of old schools. They showed me how to do, legal research and how to dig into my case. I found out that, they convicted me illegally. Mm-hmm. They violated all kind of rules of court, all kind of due process.
Right.
So here I am with 35 years. They gave me 30 years plus 5 for a toy gun.
That's outrageous. That's outrageous. So let me ask you this. What can the people do to help support you? Because outrageous is the only word I could keep saying. And I want to keep saying it because I'm going to start sounding crazy. But it is. You know what I mean?
Well, I do have a movement going on, Freedom and Justice now. And they can go to www.fnjn.us, and they can support me by going onto the site and going to the Facebook group and joining my Facebook group. They can follow me on IG. You can just go to the www.fnjn.us, and it'll have the list of everything. So if you go to the website, you can support me by following, liking, and sharing my story. That would be awesome. Okay. I have a petition up. I'm not sure how many signatures it's going to take, but I definitely need some attention on this. This is definitely injustice. Yeah. This could be called justice. Even if I had done it, 35 years.
Right. Yeah.
And they said we're done with a toy gun.
Right.
So, where's the justice in this?
Right.
But only because I stood up for myself, only because I went to clear my name, and I wanted my gun back.
Mm-hmm.
My dad gave me. So I wanted my property back, and I wanted my money back. So I'm the one who got robbed.
Yeah, you got robbed of your possessions and of your time, and you still being robbed.
And of my sons. I had 2 small sons, 7 and 9 at the time. Now they have children. So I'm a grandfather who's never seen his grandchildren. So this system is definitely robbing me of my life. And I want justice.
And you deserve it. You definitely deserve it. I appreciate the fact that you, even though this injustice has happened with you, that you still care about others, that you still give back to others, that you haven't let it break you down. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm appreciative of that, and hopeful as well. I know that you was telling me that you did some literary contributions. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, a brother asked me if I would participate in a project called Letters to Our Sons, a collection of letters by prisoners and ex-prisoners, to stop mass incarceration of our youth. So, I penned my story in the book, and they can definitely get the book. That would be a way to support the struggle as well, but not just my struggle, but the collective struggle of mass incarceration and an attempt to stop the school to prison pipeline.
Right.
We have to do something to change this. But what we can do to change this is we can seek our independence. That's the number one thing. That's why we're going through all that we're going through, because we do not have independence. We're depending on other people to provide for us what we should provide for ourselves as men and women, as a people.
Mm-hmm.
Self-determination is how how the United States broke away from England, from the United Kingdom. It was on the principles of self-determination that Haiti, the brothers and sisters of Haiti, stood up and broke away from their oppression. This is the number one human rights law, is self-determination. And by virtue of that right, all people have the right of self-determination.
Right.
We have to understand that we can change things, and we will change things. It's just that we're going to come together and withdraw our consent to be governed by our historical enemies. That's going to be the business. Everybody needs to understand our rights, because if you don't know your rights, you don't have any rights.
Right.
All people have the right of self-determination, and by virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. And that's the basis of all peoples, all nations of the world today.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to do something for ourselves. We can no longer ask anybody to intervene on our behalf. We have to stand up and intervene on our own behalf. That's the bottom line. Nobody's coming to save us. We have to save us. And the only way we can do it is through being men and women and standing up for ours. We have to govern ourselves and protect each other. I'm definitely asking everybody to go to www.detroitgov.us. That's www.detroitgov.us. Now, this is a movement that's illustrating how, on a local level, we are to take back our consent to be governed and consent to our own government. This is the move. This is going to show it, brothers and sisters, where we're the majority. There's over 1,200 cities and towns across America that we're the majority, that we can govern ourselves. We just have to come together and do this. This is not a pipe dream. This is how everybody else got their respect. And until we do what men do to get their respect, we won't get respected. And that's the bottom line. We need ours. We don't need reparations. We need to govern ourselves, and we need to protect each other. And from there, the sky's the limit. Thank you for your time, sis. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, bro, for sure. This is not the last time we'll talk by a long way.
Most definitely. I look forward to the next time. Until the next episode, peace and love.